Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the I'll Try That podcast. This week, and I think for the very first time, we're doing our first ever Norwegian beer. Am I right in saying that, chaps?
I can't remember having done one before.
I don't think we've done a Norwegian beer.
I don't believe we have done a Norwegian beer, so we are doing our first ever, on our world tour, we're in Norway, and we are at the craft brewer, Lervig.
Lervig, that's a good name.
It's a very hearty name.
Yeah.
Lervig Brewery.
I'm going to call my...
which must be Norwegian for brewery. I'm not sure.
I'm going to call my first-born child Lervig. It works for male or
Very
female.
strong.
And then there'll be a Viking.
Yeah, it does.
Lervig Drabwell.
Lervig Brewery. Perfect. You heard it here first, folks. So we will get right into Lervig and their fantastic set of beers that we're trying, the Lucky Jack brand. But first, Richard, Barber, I actually meant. I think you've got a hot topic for us, haven't you?
Yes, it's me. Thank you. So, I don't know where to begin. What do you know about iKegs?
Nothing.
Are those kegs made by Apple?
No.
They've got eyes all over them. They're always watching.
That's fine. No, you don't know. We'll bring that to a close. It's basically... Well, we know about kegs and casks, right?
We do. A cornerstone of the brewing industry.
You may have been, if you're particularly interested in this, there's news from SIBA, and actually, this is now out, and there's been a bit more information out there about them, but they were just iKeg were unveiling some new technology at BrauBeviale 2023. So it's just happened in December.
Which I hear is the go-to place for those in the brewing industry to buy their tanks, their brewing equipment, basically.
Spot on. Basically, this is just an announcement that there's... the man with his ear to the ground. So they now have these kegs and casks with... fully recyclable shells. And the bits that are a bit more exciting is that they've got this iSpear, that's iSpear, although I think that's kind of the point that it sounds like iSpear, software and cloud platform, which is going to try and deliver near real-time data analytics, like to the millimetre how much beer is being drunk, where it's being drunk, whether it's being poured at the right temperature. And so, I mean, all sorts of data they can pull out of it to basically make sure that everyone's getting their beer delivered exactly as it should be.
You know who's going to...
That's incredible.
You know who's going to be on this straight away?
Go on.
Guinness.
Yeah.
Guinness, I feel Guinness as a company, they've put out so many different ways for you as a consumer to get the perfect pint. More than any other company out there, they're coming up with all these contraptions so you can drink the perfect beer. They're going to be all over this technology. Calling it now.
I know, because it does sound like if they need to throw a bit of cash at something to get it done, they probably would do like that nitro pour
surge
beer. You don't get that off the ground unless you've got a few quid. So I imagine that iKeg and iSpear is going to probably cost a pretty penny as well. So yeah, it's certainly up their street. And I mean, ultimately, it is. We've talked about it with a few things when we mentioned genetic engineering for hops yeast. In fact, the other week, this is all going to be stuff that means that you get beer fresher, isn't it? Really
nice,
which we're all in the market for, I think.
I like that.
Always in the mood for better and fresher tasting beer. Lovely.
I like the sound.
They also have go on.
Oh no, I was going to say because we've already got the nitro surge, but it'd be good to get something that actively helps you pour all your beers, like a little attachment you can put on the top of everything. And if this technology can lead to that, that'd be great.
Yeah. Weird thing that I never thought that actually necessarily would be something that came up too much. I have worked in pubs and that sort of thing. But all these iKegs that they're going to be making, individually numbered. So there's really easy to keep track of them. But they're actually, with this iSpear thing, they're global tracking as well, because people nick them. And I didn't realise. So, like, just going to deal with that. I never thought that, of all the things that a brewer has to deal with, I never thought that actually getting your kegs and your cask nicked was part of it. But they're addressing that as well. So
because I'd imagine back in the day, like an old wooden cask would be perfect to make like a table out of or something, or a nice feature in a home. Whereas these like new modern ones probably wouldn't look so good as like a coffee table or a side table or something.
Or even if you thought,
why are people nicking them?
Well, even if you thought that it did look like a nice coffee table, someone would be knocking on your door saying, "I want that back."
Yeah, I know exactly where it is. I've tracked it from where you stole it from. They basically need to introduce this iKeg technology into shopping trolleys, and that will solve a lot of problems for supermarkets.
Yes.
I would like to say I've pulled out in the past 3 weeks 4 shopping trolleys from Weymouth Harbour. So stop it.
There's no need to show off.
and if you had the app, Rich, and they had this technology, you could know exactly where they were in the harbour, and you could get them straight away.
Get them quicker.
I thought, Joe, for a minute there, maybe you were going to suggest a kind of reverse technology and go, well, actually, what they should do with these kegs and the casks is actually just put this kind of like metal nib in it that you put a £1 coin in, and then it releases it from the one behind, and then you can carry it off somewhere.
The solution has been in front of our eyes all along.
But yeah, interesting step forward with technology here in actually what is like a pretty major part of drinking and making beer. And you'd have thought
it's a pretty crucial part of drinking beer. It's just not the part that we as consumers see.
Yeah.
But it's obviously for those who deliver. It's like make the beer, but also sell the beer. It's pretty crucial, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like literally what all the beer most of the beer comes in, unless it's like cans and bottles.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much uptake there is as well, because also with like technology, you have like your early adopters, don't you, and all that sort of thing. And you would have probably thought in the short term, the costs for this stuff is going to be high, but then the more people that go and do it, the more they, gradually the costs don't come down as well. That's, a very generalised model of how it works. But
so I think how the iKeg system works, because I remember talking to the Adnams Brewery about it when I was visiting them, because they had all these phenomenally shiny like plastic. I'd never seen them before. It was the first time I'd laid eyes on this iKeg technology, basically. And I remember asking them about it, and basically how they work on it is you kind of rent them. You don't own the kegs ever. They just constantly just move around from brewery to distributor to whatever. So these are all owned by iKeg. You just basically rent the kegs, and like obviously, so actually, it's quite interesting that because you won't guarantee you get the same keg back from the distributor or from the brewery. And I guess this technology and this new version of the iKeg technology means that they can keep a better track of where all these hundreds of thousands of kegs are all over the place. Like the worst ever logistics game you ever have to play. But it's just constantly moving from one person to another.
It's just like there's just one really stressed out person in a switch room joining all these dots.
Where now? It's gone where?
I like to think they've just got one control room that's up on like a big top of a tower, and there's just a big screen with just loads of dots of where all the kegs are. Then when one goes awry, it just goes bright red and starts flashing, and everyone starts to panic. It's moving! It's gone!
Keg C364 it's gone in the stream.
Yeah.
Whenever I see anyone references those kind of like control room stuff, I always just automatically think about Minority Report.
Yeah.
And they've got like those special gloves on and little eye thing on.
Because that's where iKeg's at.
Really futuristic iKeg
They've got Minority Report gloves.
I thought, because you described the kind of, I envisaged the one control room with just one stressed out dude drinking coffee and chain smoking. But then when you said everyone going wild, I had the idea, have you seen the bit of footage of it's like the camera's above and it's looking down on a sports bar and they're watching the football, but people had changed the screen so that it's actually the DVD player sign, and then they're all watching it. And when it finally goes into the bottom corner, they all go, yeah! That's when they see the iKeg and the beer coming out of it. Yes, first pint. Crazy.
It's as big as the moon landing.
Exactly. Touchdown. Congratulations, everyone shaking hands and crying.
Yeah. We found the cake. Shall we Lervig it?
Yes, okay, let's move on.
That almost sounds like a dance move as well.
Lervig it.
Yeah.
Hey, you up for the Lervig?
It's all in the shoulders, the Lervig.
It's a very shouldery dance, the Lervig. perfectly to do while sat down, maybe on a video call with mates.
It was created in lockdown.
Perfect lockdown beer. Dance.
Yes, well,
It's quite nice.
Smoothly on. Joe, you brought us this beer as part of the swap shop,
did.
haven't you?
This was my offering to the swap shop.
I was not familiar with them till you did, and I was keen to know how you sort of stumbled upon them, or whether you sort of how that. Tell us about them.
I can. So I was actually drawn in. Lervig is new to me. I was drawn in by the Lucky Jack and the very fashionable fisherman like icon on the front of the Lucky Jack cans. So you guys looked in more detail about this. So Lucky Jack is the brand of beer that is owned by the Lervig Brewery.
Yeah.
And Lucky Jack's symbol is this fisherman type fellow within this roundel. It's very interesting, like illustration. He's got sunglasses on, so he's a very cool fisherman. He's maybe a fisherman of the 21st century.
I was going to say, I work in a harbour, and I've never seen a cool-looking fisherman at all. But this guy's really cool. Like, if these guys were hanging...
Have you seen a Norwegian fisherman, though?
No, I've not. I've only seen very...
Maybe they're all very cool like this gentleman.
Maybe, but I'd assume Norwegian fishermen would have a bigger beard. No? I've just got an image in my head.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Certainly your Viking child will have a big beard, that's for sure.
Male or female.
So Lervig has got this, and so we're trying their Lucky Jack brand, as we talked about, but I've got the grapefruit beer. Have you guys also got the grapefruit version?
Yes. Grapefruit, indeed.
I have the grapefruit version.
What's your take on this grapefruit version? Because I've got an opinion.
It's bloody delicious.
Yes.
It's...
Okay.
Barber, you dare slate this?
No, I'm just not currently drinking it. That's all.
Oh.
I'm just decided to save it because I'm doing a not drinking beer moment. So I'm nodding along appreciatively, and I'm reading the notes and see how your thoughts compare to the notes of what it says. But you're loving it.
Oh, it's so good, so good. It's I was a bit and ahhing because I thought it was going to be really sour.
Grapefruit can be,
but it is delicious, and I could sip this and drink this all day.
They pitch this as the perfect beer for summer, so we might not be at exactly the right time for it right now. But are you getting that kind of thirst quenching? For me, a light. How fizzy are we talking?
It's not massively fizzy. It's got a little bit of a fizz to it. Wait there. Let me go back in.
Yeah, because this is meant to be like an American style ale, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a little fizz, but nothing major. It's smooth and it's got a nice little kind of like soury bitter aftertaste
Come on,
to
then.
it.
Come on, then. What?
Quite good.
Come on, then. Can you two tell from tasting what hops are in there?
There's definitely a Chinook in there. There's definitely a Chinook.
I'll tell you the answers at the end.
My palate's gone quite dry after trying it, so I reckon there's Citra.
I was going to say Citra.
Okay, we're looking for 3, I should say, as well.
If you're confident, Chinook and Citra, I think those are at least 2 of them. I don't know. I couldn't tell you for the life of me what the third one is. I can make some great guesses, but they're probably not going to be right.
Well, Jabbers, have you got any you'd like to add? And then you can just do the crazy guesses if you like.
Fuggle. That's the one we learned.
Yeah, that would have been one of my crazy guesses.
Fuggle.
I can tell you. I will tell you, Fuggles, as I've been calling it, is not in there.
That was.
Is it Norway known for any hops?
Not to my knowledge.
Has it got like a Norwegian hops? No, apparently not. Sorry to say, guys.
So that was the most anticlimactic.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you'd be pleased to know. I'm just going to close this bit before we move on to that. But you'd be pleased to know Chinook and Citra are in there. Yeah. So well done, boys. Well done.
Slash Joe.
I said Citra. Yeah. Shut up.
Team effort. Go on. Just pull. Reach for a hop each. Just do one, and then I'll tell you what it is.
Drabs, you go first.
Why have I gone blank on all hop names? I've already shouted Fuggle.
Would you like me to give you a clue?
All right, I'll pull one out of the bag. Amarillo.
No, he's only gone and done it, Drappers. He's got all 3.
No, he hasn't.
The the clue I was going to give you was ask you if this is the way to.
Oh, that definitely would have.
Yeah, I think you would have got that. So yeah, there you go. And a Pilsner malt and a caramel malt.
Oh, I don't get caramel.
Well, that's just the name of the. It's the type of malt, but you can. There's probably
doesn't mean that's what the flavour will come out as. It's just the malt, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have a hint. So Pilsner and caramel are the malts, and an American ale yeast. Although I think it does
and then American styled beer. Then is that what they're basically?
Yeah, and actually, I believe it does actually contain a grapefruit juice and peel extract as well. So there's actually some in there.
You know what? Now you're mentioning this as an American styled beer, it's very reminiscent to my all-time favourite flavoured beer, which is a Montauk watermelon ale.
Montauk watermelon?
Watermelon session ale. So it's like a 4.9%, which is a bit high on the session ale scale, but it's from the Montauk Brewery in New York. It is outstanding. This thing is the best flavoured beer I've ever had in my lifetime. Lived on it quite literally for like five years. But yeah, this is quite reminiscent actually, although grapefruit is a slightly more sharper kind of fruit flavour than it is watermelon, but it's still super palatable. And so now you've mentioned that this might be an American styled beer, obviously made by a Danish craft brewer. This is bringing me a round circle to, this is a lot like an American style beer from an American craft brewer, Montauk, that I've had. So yeah, very tasty.
The brewery's in Stavanger in Norway, isn't it?
In Norway.
So
where's Stavanger?
What can I say? And I think so. That's relatively far south, and also kind of I think it's like a gateway to one of the fjords. So it does kind of explain it does kind of explain the Lucky Jack characters as the fisherman.
I love that it's putting Stavanger on the map. I don't know if Stavanger is known for anything else, but it does have a cathedral that dates back to the 12th century. So there you go.
Proper.
And it has a very, very popular Norwegian petroleum museum in Stavanger.
Amazing.
I knew that, I understood it had a minor tourist drawing, minor with a capital N possibly, or whatever.
It says it has lots of lovely white wooden houses.
Ooh, white wooden houses, because I'm seeing that it's got very colourful houses. That's one of its main appeals.
Stavanger is often praised for its charming old town with white wooden houses and its role as a hub for outdoor activities like hiking.
Oh. The shopping street, Ovry Holmergate, is known for its colourful houses.
Well, that's just one street, Joe.
I'm learning more and more about this Norwegian Petroleum Museum, and I feel like we have to go. It illuminates the oil industry with submersibles, a large drill bit, and an escape chute.
Oh, the escape chute sounds fun. It's Stavanger's oil industry has earned its nickname, the oil capital of Norway.
Wow.
In fact, it's home to several museums. There's a maritime one.
So, if we're thinking about craft brewers that are set up in an oil-rich part of a country, what else does that bring to mind? Another craft brewer that we've done relatively recently that we love so much.
I think I know.
Ooh,
Give me an F.
Yeah, he's got it. He knows. We're talking, of course, of Fierce Brewery in Aberdeen.
Oh, they should do a collaboration and name it after something to do with
They're
oil.
actually not that far as the crow flies, if you were to draw a line between them.
Lerdeen or Abervig. Or no, hang on. That's the name in the brewery. So it'd have to be Fierce and Lervig or Aberdeen and Stavanger. Anyway, have you seen? I was just having a look through Lervig's products. They have done quite a few beers.
So they don't just do this Lucky Jack brand. There's more, are there?
Oh, there's quite a lot more.
Oh, I love it. Total.
There's also, I think, because it's a combination of core beers and experimental one-off small batches. Oh my goodness me! You could just these can't all be in regular
Put us out of our
rotation.
misery, Matthew,
Oh,
and tell us
wow.
all.
I'm on there
There's-
now, mate.
Hundreds.
Oh,
Not hundreds, but
Tell us some
dozens.
of the spotlight ones.
Well, it's
There's
just-
dozens of us.
I mean, there's just. I'm not going to tell you the individual items in these because there's like maybe a dozen or more in each. Actually, sorry. There's a little bit of an overflow, but they've got core. They've got core beers, but then they do things. Some of these are in the core section. So Rackhouse, hoppy, dark, lager, sour, nitro, wheat, alcohol free, Christmas, collabs,
it's just Christmas.
gluten free.
Christmas collabs.
There's blooming loads, and they've got quite a cool. If you go and have a look, I mean, you almost wouldn't recognise if you were looking for Lervig beers, if you were familiar with Lucky Jack. I was going to say Lucky Saint. If you're familiar with Lucky Jack and were looking for more Lervig beers, you wouldn't know what to look for with these because loads of the others have got this kind of artsy, steezy, slightly graffiti style cans. And they've done lots of really, really crafty looking brews as well.
So what?
Sorry, the bit I was just informing myself on was the collabs.
I'm just looking at one thing they've got. They've got something called the Lervig Local, and I'm wondering if this is only beers you can get at their tap room.
Presumably, yeah, because it looks like it's only draft.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. So you have to go to Lervig if you want to try all of their range. You have to go there just to try it.
One of the Lervig locals is with Basqueland that you may remember from our recent Beer 52 episode.
And North Brewing.
North Brewing, not a Lervig local, but they have done one with Daya. Brasserie de la Seine. Yeah. Pulpit Rock, Von Winning, loads. So
They've done one with Amundsen as well.
Yeah,
which is always good.
I was thinking that because aren't they? Amundsen aren't. I thought they were local to them, or relatively speaking. But yeah, they're real craft beer credentials here.
Oh, 100%.
So Lervig started out in 2003 in Stavanger. It's the coastal city, the southwest coast of Norway. And they've grown significantly since its inception, gaining recognition both domestically and international. So they are considered one of the pioneers of craft breweries in Norway, contributing to the growth of the craft beer movement within the country. And yeah, they've done all types of styles. They have a very extensive collaboration history, as you guys just alluded to. They've got international recognition for their beers, both at beer festivals and events around the world, and not just and that's obviously helped with global distribution, international distribution that we're getting them here in the UK. I mean, to be quite honest, they've quite literally put Norway on the map for beer when it comes to, for me. Like, I didn't know of any other Norwegian beers, whereas I now know Lervig as a fantastic craft brewer from Norway.
Well, that's it. I'm 100% there to definitely try. I want to try. I'm probably going to attempt to find some more of their stuff in the UK because it is delish.
Well, I found this at my local off license, so actually, it's pretty old. Oh. Yeah, it's not even like from a big chain or something, so you could probably find it pretty easily.
I'm gonna have a Google
where you can get it from. So yeah, I think any last words on Lervig?
Can't wait to try it because I'm holding off on this one, but yeah, I think you guys have sort of already biased me a little bit into thinking I'm gonna love it. But yeah, sounds like they are capable of great things.
Oh,
so
100.
If you look them up on Instagram, they have 38.6k followers. If you follow Lervig Beer, so that's a pretty big chunky amount of people.
That's way more than most, isn't it? That we
find them on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can get they've got 6,000 followers, and that's again Lervig Beer.
And that's all we have time for this week's episode of the I'll Try That podcast. And so from me, Joe, Rich,
Barber,
and Simo,
goodbye. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Twitter, I'll Try That podcast.com,
and watch us on YouTube.
Goodbye now.